Today we're going to be surviving against an endless invasion against the Germans. So first thing we want to do is probably get a soldier and then a machine gun. We've got 2 medals, and I could immediately convert one of those, which is now changed, by the way. This was some of the interesting suggestions we got, which is basically to split the research tree in the metal conversion rate. We're going to upgrade our trenches because in Stickman Trenches, when you upgrade the trench, it decreases the chance that when a soldier gets shot at by the enemy that they'll die. But remember, it goes both ways. But in endless mode, the enemy doesn't have trenches. So yeah, we've changed tech, and now I can just click this button right here and convert 1 metal into 200 gold currency, and I feel like this is going well. I actually did a little dry run right before recording this, and I got wiped out pretty early. And I think that build order is important in endless mode, but you got to account for the fact that the enemy is just going to be bringing in more and more troops. Now, spending 2 medals to unlock an officer, I'm not sure if that was the way to go. An officer costs 165, so this is interesting. These 2 choices are more interesting to me, but I think I just want the money. Yeah, I definitely want the money. So now we have an officer, and officers can reinforce your ally units, giving them a higher rate of fire and high damage, which I think is important. The more rate of fire that my troops have, well, I'm fighting an endless invasion. They're gonna get bigger and more numerous, right? So I think this is the way to do it. Now we're going to fully upgrade our trenches. That was a risk. Convert 1 of the metals into immediate dollars. And I think one of the next things that we're desperately going to need is the tech option that's going to get us quicker riflemen. Now, as you're watching this, the big question today is, 1, have you wishlisted Stickman Trenches? It comes out March 1st, which is Wednesday. That is so soon. Oh, yes, please. I'm definitely going to get that. Oh, one of the units I definitely want is a submachine gunner. These guys are pretty good at locking down the fort. They've got a good rate of fire, and so it's almost like it's not as good as your defensive machine gun here, but it's pretty decent. And I've noticed that, like, if you can survive the early couple rounds, now this is a mode that wasn't in the demo and will be available at launch. We're still working on campaign. I want campaign to be awesome. So if you have ideas on endless mode or campaign, feel free to leave them. Like I said before, as you can see from all the comments in the last video and the videos before it, it's so much fun building this with you guys. Oh, we may have just hit critical mass, which is going to help us survive longer and get into the later modes. We're about 2.5 minutes in. There's sort of lulls. Like I was saying, early game is very difficult. Mid game, if you survive early game, can be easier. And then late game, it gets very difficult, at least in how the current version of the game is playing. Oh, that's fantastic. I am going to do that. And I've got 4 medals. And I think what we want to do is let's get flamethrowers. So the idea with flamethrowers is I've never used flamethrowers in defense mode before against the endless waves. They're really good against crowds, right? Well, what's attacking us? Crowds. I bought a flamethrower and they immediately killed him. That's unfortunate. So yeah, as you're watching this, what I want you guys to be thinking about is, like, what are the fun ways that we can make endless mode even better than the current early version that you're seeing right now. We'll take that money, take it to the bank, buy units. And what do I want to unlock with this? Oh, well, I converted one on accident. And you'll notice that my rank is increasing too, which I think is so cool. Like, we started out as a private, and now I think, I'm not sure if I'm a 2-star general or what. As you can see, I'm not in charge of the art department for your ranking. Okay, they've got lots of gas masks. You can see the troops around the officer run a little bit faster. We'll take the 3 medals, and I'll just unlock a little bit of everything there. So now my submachine gunners are going to come out even faster. We're 4 minutes and 12 seconds in, and we're actually crushing them before they get a shot. Now, I think that's partially because I'm sort of exploiting a certain condition that's present, and we've got to figure out how to fix it, right? Which is why we're making these videos. Is the enemy sort of like jumps into position in this trench, we sort of break their animation. And one of the things that I want to do is find a way to kind of fix that, to make endless mode even better. But one of the things we can do, and we want to do, is take this next trench. So what I'm going to do is wait till this wave finishes, go over to it, and upgrade it immediately, convert one of my medals, get a machine gunner, and see how we do. So remember that the defender has a little bit of an advantage. They normally get the first shot, unless of course like they're shotgunner units, like they like to get in and wreck stuff. So we'll upgrade shotguns. I mean, we do have, oh, see, we're starting to take some shots here. And we're gonna be building up our back trench. What I wanna do is stress test this thing and see just how good we are. One of the interesting things, and we've changed the prices of these tanks. They're more expensive in terms of their gold cost. I actually want to send one out during a wave and see just how good it does. So let's summon a British Mark land ship, aka the big tank. He's gonna arrive here. He's got a machine gun and a cannon that he is able to fire. We'll summon a bunch of units. But the thing about tanks is, unfortunately, they will not sit behind your trenches. And maybe that's something that we want to do. He did pretty dang decently. I'm just stacking medals. Let's just unlock a little bit of everything. And at this point, what do I want? I'm thinking we go, they've almost always got officers. So I feel like the officers giving gas masks to their troops, sending the reinforcements here to reinforce that front trench. Now the enemy's gonna be sending tanks in. We're about 6 minutes and 30 seconds. He actually goes right before the attacking waves. We'll spend our medals to unlock some of our other tanks, and we are going to hold on for dear life. So now that almost everything's unlocked, except for this machine gun tank, you can look at our XP track. Once we level up, we should get another one. I want to unlock that, and well, there we go. And then start just converting medals into money. Although that rules out the ability to buy snipers or heavy tanks until we have one. But I also don't have snipers and can't build them because of mutual exclusivity. Flamethrowers, I really think I underestimated just how good flamethrowers are going to be in terms of defending. So one thing we could do is do an artillery barrage as the enemy's charging in. Oh, that first one was devastating. The second and third one did absolutely nothing. But the first one, I would say, made that artillery strike worth it. We're going to summon in a cannon tank and a machine gun tank. Now, these guys move faster, and so we're going to have a little bit of a tank battle, but that should reduce some of the stress on the men in the trenches. But look at how quickly a light tank goes down against a full frontal assault. We'll take the money, even though... And let's see, do we want to do precision artillery? The enemy's bringing in tanks. It's wave 40. We're 8 minutes in. I'd say we're doing fairly well. Infantry, slowly in support. There was a really cool idea in the comments of the last video. Now, these are sort of the types of ideas you're like, that's so cool, but is that going to be in Stickman Trenches or in like the game that we use everything we've learned in Stickman Trenches to make next time? Will it be World War I, World War II? Will it not be either World War I or World War II? But the idea was that tanks, when they get destroyed, crew member come out and fight. I'm not sure if that's within the scope of this game. Oh, look at this charge. Let's summon an artillery barrage. Artillery barrages are, like, this is one of the best uses for an artillery barrage is endless mode. But yeah, the idea that, like, when the tank is destroyed, crew come out and they might have pistols similar to an officer but not be very good. Another idea was tanks can basically command the two nearest troops to like jump on top of them and shoot, which I thought was a really cool idea. One of the things we would want to do is upgrade this as much as we can. Max out our base. Look at this, tank combat. But there's also the idea of like should the score be set, I might as well summon a tank. Should the score be set not how like not in terms of how long you survive in a battle, like time-wise, but actually in the waves. I feel like it should be waves. But one of the cool things is you get a statistics screen at the end of this. Oh man, precision artillery on that would have been, you know what? I mean, I gotta do it, right? So they're about to overrun this, and what's interesting is since we're in defense mode, I can't attack, but I can do this. You have fought bravely. If we had a veterancy type situation, it'd be really cool to like send veterans back to get better defense. It's just, when you can do anything you want, but you have to be responsible in how you go about developing, it's like there's always so many great ideas that you want to put in. But with the game releasing on March 1st, we're going to have a very good idea of just how successful the game is at launch. And we've got like a roadmap of what we want to do. Obviously, certain nations and nation-specific units and campaign are on the calendar, but if the game's like absurdly successful, then of course we're gonna try to do even bigger stuff. I've also thought about like, here we go guys, what about the idea of changing the art style from Stickman to like, you know, not stickman, I guess, but actual like sort of like real World War I or World War II looking stuff if it was the next one was a World War II game. And I also really like the idea of making it not 2D but 2.5D. Just musing out loud right now. Let's go with a big tank attack. All 3 tanks are on the field at the same time. This is something that's very difficult to do in regular mode, especially on the higher level difficulties. Look at that tank battle. The enemy's bringing in 2 tanks too, though. But after we win this, oh, they brought in 3 actually. Yes, this is the biggest tank battle in Stickman Trenches history right now. Now, I think what I want to do is keep a couple medals in reserve so I can always have that for land ships. And at some point, we obviously want to have like an economy patch or an economy update because we're still, we figure once we release, we'll have a lot more data and a lot more feedback. All right, enemies coming in. Now what I want to do is experiment with just like enduring the tank attacks because the enemy bringing in 4, but not all at the same time was interesting. Brilliant. And that moment, we only lost like an officer. All right, 1 tank. How many is it? 2. 2 tanks so far. Cannon and machine gun, but they have like no chance. 3 tanks and then the infantry push. We'll go stars. Can we survive getting up to like 10,000 stars and make it to wave, let's see, what are we at right now? Wave 53. Could we get to wave 70 with 10,000 gold in our inventory? I think we could. Let's send in a land ship. The enemy just sending in more tanks. But one of the ideas of like, I was asking what sort of light tanks we should add. And the German tank was called the LK1, according to you guys, and then the Brits had the Whippet tank. I want to see one of my tanks like win a battle and go off screen, but instead, it's interesting though. I was expecting, I wonder if we could make a map or a mode where like we almost change the rules. And so it would allow both teams to have big tank battles. And in that case, like you're dealing with a situation where, you know, spending more resources on tanks, and then when we have it, certain tank upgrades become more important than they otherwise would on, say, the map that sort of favors the sniper, or a night battle where it sort of favors the use of shotguns, just to have a slightly different experience. Oh my gosh. That's such a big attack. Did you see how many officers all moved in there? That was like the entirety of the Germans' officer training program all right there. Oh, we're at 8,400. So just using what we have, can we endure? Ooh, we just lost 2 submachine gunners there. Because right now it's clear that we are in need of further balancing. I'm curious if people are gonna get this and be like, oh, I survived for like an hour long and I got to wave ungodly number. Oh, we're definitely gonna hit 10,000. But now it's just a matter of, can we reach wave 70? Waves cleared, wave 57. I think one of the easiest things we could do is make it so after a certain waves, tanks don't come in statically, but they come in at the same time. And then on even more difficult waves, the tanks and the infantry are timed perfectly so they attack near the same time. Let's go with 3. Yep, we got 10,000. We're out of upgrades. Research tree is definitely of interest. I want to use precision artillery so badly. These guys are just beasts right now, but they will eventually be overrun. One strategy I haven't employed yet is if you filled this front trench with all of like your riflemen, submachine gunners, officers, and then in the back one you had like lots of snipers, if they'd be able to shoot and hit these guys, because I think they would. Wave 59. The tanks have arrived, but like having a fully upgraded trench is just massive. We did lose an officer, I think? No, he had a regular Tommy helmet, I'm pretty sure. Slowly, ooh, we lost a flamethrower there. We only have 3 flamethrowers in the front trench left. Were there ever, like, bunkers, like flamethrower bunkers in World War I? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure flamethrowers were usually used to clear trenches and bunkers. All right, that was big. Let's take the medals. I wanted to summon the tank. At wave 70, what we're gonna do, if we get the option, is we're gonna try to send in like 4 tanks. Woo! We might get 20K. Oh my gosh, this trench is absolutely getting crushed now though. It was overrun. Now here's a quick test. Can this machine gun survive very long if it's just itself against a tank? Well, I'm sure some of you have wanted to know. Boom, he missed. But now there's gonna be 2. Okay, he was overrun. Oh my gosh, that is so many tanks. All right, once we clear this wave, what we're gonna do is do the big tank battle again. I wanna see another big tank battle. Oh my god, that's so many infantry. All right, so we should what, send out the 3. We'll get a 2v1 this guy. Oh, it's 2v2, at least until heavy tank landship arrives. 3v2, we lost one. 2v2, 2v1, 2v2. The battle evolves so quickly. But this just goes to show you the power. And so, oh yes, this is what we wanted. Oh, but I can't use it just now, because these queue times are still locked up. Oh, heavy tank went down. This is bad. Little guy went down. Oh gosh. Gentlemen, you must hold the outer trenches. All right. Oh gosh, that's bad. Send in the tanks. I think some of the upgrades that will definitely have a huge impact on endless mode are like the grenades. That's something we've talked about internally where like you could have an upgrade. Oh god, these guys are gonna crush us. All right, this is what I wanted. I wanted the summon tank, but we've never been able to time it perfectly. Can this machine gunner get there? He actually did! You legend. Yeah, the land ship's not ready and he's the slowest. Bummer. Tank battles. Yeah, I never expected that, but I guess it does make obvious sense in hindsight that this is definitely where you would get the biggest tank battles. So I think it's clear that I could keep going for a very, very long time, but it's become very apparent that what we need to do is do some testing. Do some testing, make some changes. Gentlemen, hold the line. Oh god, they're here, and they're crushing us. But now we have a fully upgraded base. Can he survive? No, he won't survive this. Oh no. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching another episode of Stickman Trenches. Make sure to wishlist the game. If it's after March 1st, the game is out right now. So get it on Steam. And thanks for your support, and I'll see you in the next one.